sense. I think it's hard to argue that background checks done right, and by the way, California does not do them right, is a bad idea. The 5150 system we have in California, excellent. It certainly led to less outcomes in some ways, negative outcomes.
Can you say what the 5150
is? Basically, law enforcement, school administrators are relatively compelled, if someone looks to be a danger to self or others, or behaving oddly, to take them for mental health screening. Mental health screening will immediately disarm them, temporarily. The real due process rights, so that if they don't actually pose a danger to self or others, they can get their gun rights back almost immediately, 2 weeks later, in the usual case. But the issue is, this coming back to the kind of point, in Texas, where there are no gun control laws to speak of other than felons and a background check on purchase, the gun homicide rate by population is lower than California. So in fact, when we actually go and look at what happens, we don't really see much of an actual lowering of the body count from the gun controls we have here.
And are the demographics sufficiently the same among Texas and...
Well, certainly when you talk about rates, we're talking about per 100,000, but it would be hard to argue that Texas is significantly different from a metro area perspective. I mean, certainly San Antonio is not, that 3 million, 16 million. But nonetheless, you're still talking about border towns, and you would compare well with San Diego. Dallas is not a small metro area. So when you're talking about 27 million versus 38 million, it's a pretty valid comparison, especially if you would argue that gun control does work. Because if you do argue that gun control does work, then California should be much closer to the national average of gun homicide rate. And Texas certainly shouldn't be below it.
Actually, the biggest city in Texas is Houston. It is the 4th or 5th largest city in the country. It has twice the homicide rate that the city of Los Angeles has. That's apples to apples. Comparing California to rural Texas to a place that has much more geography and is much more spread out is not a fair comparison.
Lori, if I could ask you, currently in Washington, we're debating 3 major proposals. Universal background checks, restrictions on the sale of high-capacity magazines, and restrictions on the sale of assault rifles. Are those the right reforms that we should be thinking of, and why is that?
They are the right things we should be looking at because they work and they make sense. I think Gene just said it's in the instance of background checks, that's a logical, common sense measure to ensure that weapons don't wind up in the hands of people who shouldn't have them. And the numbers are staggering about how many weapons actually are purchased without a background check. 40% of all weapons are purchased without any kind of a background check, and 80% of weapons that are purchased for criminal intent, 80% are purchased without a background check. 6.6 million weapons. So that's just a common sense piece of legislation that I think we know, we see from the last Quinnipiac poll, that 92% of Americans support. And in terms of the assault weapons ban, we know that those weapons are designed for one purpose, to kill as many people as possible in a short amount of period. And that we do agree that those weapons aren't necessary for self-protection or hunting, and that they shouldn't be sold. Now, the assault weapons ban and also the high-capacity ammunition magazine goes hand in hand with that, and there's no reason for that level of ammunition to be available to shoot that many people in such a short period of time. So we're fully supportive, and those are the right measures.
And Mark, I have a feeling from our conversations that you might disagree, although even though you come at this issue from the left, the political left, if you will.
In some ways. I think that bad news, by the way, at dinner I was reading the news, and it now looks like the universal background checks are going to be blocked by Republicans. We're backing away. So even though that seems to me to be a no-brainer, for those of us who possess firearms, I have a number of them, and that was shooting yesterday. I think that we have to go through background checks to buy a gun, and I think it's a no-brainer that buying a gun and owning a gun should be buying a gun and possessing a gun should be at least as much of a hassle as it is to go to the DMV to register a car and get a car insurance. And it is, as Gene Gene knows, in California, it's kind of an annoying process to buy a gun, but it isn't terribly different if you're not a felon than registering a car and getting insurance. So the guns are not really registered, which is something I would probably support. But what I wanted to say to gun control advocates is that as somebody who's for very strict gun control, I really get annoyed by somebody telling me, not personally, somebody telling me what I need or don't need. That I don't need this or that for hunting or for self-defense. I would ask you, if you own an SUV, do you need 400 horsepower to go up the 405 freeway? Do you need an 8,000 square foot house, or could you do with 1,100 square feet? People own guns, including exotic guns, including semi-automatic guns, or guns that are mistakenly or vaguely called assault weapons, for strange reasons. But it doesn't make them criminals. It means that they have human flaws like all of us do, and we like nice shoes or nice purses or nice cars, and you own them for whatever reason you like. That's number one. Number two, there's millions of these guns already available. And without getting too technical, maybe we can do it in the question-answer period, the actual assault weapon, what's called an assault weapon, is not terribly different than many other basic, what are called hunting rifles. They may look different, but they don't really pack any more